Happy 2024, everyone! For the new year, I'm sharing a video that I actually made a long time ago. I set it aside and never uploaded it because there was something I wanted to add or change later. Now, it's been so long I don't even remember what I was going to change, so I'm just uploading the video as it is. I hope you enjoy my video and have a great new year. Sometimes I like to revisit the historical Besiege version 0.01, the very first version of the game. It was here that I made a fortuitous discovery, a bizarre prehistoric creature that evolved to thrive in this primitive landscape. The first thing you might notice is its unusual pattern of movement. It weaves back and forth in flight, hence its name, the weaving dragonfly. The prevailing theory is that this is to throw off the aim of hunters or to confuse prey. You might also notice its asymmetrical tail, which is surprisingly at the perfect angle for balanced flight. This is analogous to the bright, colorful plumage of a peacock. It appears to be a maladaptation, which signals to females that its other attributes are strong enough to compensate. Of course, since this is a family channel, we won't be going into detail on the mating habits, but we can show its other strengths in action. Its explosive alpha strike defends against its most menacing natural predator, the fearsome archers. It evolved a tough skin so that only its fans are vulnerable to arrows. Its fans are on top, where they're harder to target from below. Even in heavy wind, the weaving dragonfly is a remarkably strong flyer. Here, it's using its powerful talons to gather materials for a nest. Note how it skillfully lines up its approach. It must get the weight distribution just right to transport the most material. Strong fans, a large wing area, and light weight allow it to lift and control surprisingly heavy loads. It even seems to carry weights for fun and exercise. So maybe it's a prehistoric ancestor of the carrier pigeon, or the crane. Among the weaving dragonfly's favorite prey are sheep, which were apparently filled with cranberry juice. Not the best evolutionary adaptation on their part. Due to their small size, it takes a lot of sheep to satiate a weaving dragonfly, so its grazings can be rather time-consuming. But bear with me, more epic challenges are to come. The prehistoric Besiege version 0.01 has a uniquely difficult marksman's pass, with more archers than later versions. The revised version had only one group of archers, so a minimal machine would only have to bomb that one group and slowly inch up the slope to victory, but that wouldn't work here. Also, many block types hadn't yet evolved, including the balloon, so machines using that wore out too. Yet the weaving dragonfly impressively adapted, allowing it to conquer all 15 zones of Besiege version 0.01 with only 8 blocks. As civilization expanded, this majestic yet humble creature became a rare and coveted sight. But some weaving dragonflies have managed to adapt. This fine specimen, let's call him Timothy, got a job at a gold mine in Valfrost. He uses his strength and rigidity to break through to the gold. He's not quite strong enough to lift the huge gold nuggets, but he remains undeterred and found a way to drag them into place. After Timothy collects the gold, he heads to the smelting plant in Krolmar. Here, the gold is melted by a laser to further refine it. Timothy carefully moves the mirror into place to aim the laser. Thankfully, the mirror's edges are reflective too, so he doesn't have to lift it. After work, he enjoys a meal at the Tree of Achmora. In his spare time, Timothy likes to hang out in Talbrand. Here he is enjoying a nice game of basketball. While the jugs are lightweight, their shape makes them hard to grip with their weight centered like the wood bundle earlier. So the method here is to use an asymmetrical grip and flight pattern. Timothy celebrates his basketball win by frolicking with his yak friends. Timothy is so civilized, he even learned to read. The trick is to grab the book asymmetrically, so its weight helps rotate him upright. The grabber is set far forward, so one can recover from a nose-down landing. So to fly with the book, grip it with the center of mass as far back as possible. Timothy is not finished yet though. He's even polite enough to return the books he borrows. Here, Timothy takes on the challenge of the revolving monolith. He swapped his usual bomb for a flaming ball so he could light both fires. The local religious sect has been wanting to use this for their ceremonies, but when it's completed, the mystical forces unleash an explosion that nobody can withstand. So until now, they've had to leave it sit unused. That's where the simple, robust anatomy of the weaving dragonfly comes through. Once Timothy finishes aligning the magic runes, you'll see the burst of energy they release. Not a scratch. As a reward, the grateful worshippers help Timothy procure a large crystal. The vault won't open until the weight sensors are activated, so the worshippers stand on the sensors while Timothy gets the crystal. While weaving dragonflies have mellowed into generally peaceful creatures, it's still not a good idea to provoke one. In any case, I hope you've been enjoying this presentation. I just wish I could do a good David Attenborough voice because that would have made it perfect. This was a tough build for a simple 8-block machine. The old Besiege didn't have the advanced building tools, and it stored the machines in a totally different file layout. So I had to build the plane in the current Besiege, and manually enter the angles and coordinates into the old file type. And the hitboxes and connection points are different in old Besiege. My first version of this plane used the full 3D diagonal of the starting block to get the props as far apart as possible for responsive steering. But when I recreated it in old Besiege, the parts clipped and it was unusable. So it took quite a bit of tedious trial and error to get a plane that would work well in both versions. I am happy with the result though. This plane is like my 6-block Clover, but easier to fly and with more utility. You don't even have to weave. Weaving just lets you go faster without ascending. It's also incredibly light. It weighs less than 2 cannons after you drop the bomb, so the recoil from a high-powered cannon can be quite an adventure. I'm actually uploading 2 versions of this aircraft. The one on the Steam Workshop will be in the current file type, so I can add the version 0.01 skin pack. I'll also upload a version to the forum that's compatible with older versions of the game. That's pretty much all I have to say for now, so happy flying.